guys, I'm with Ma'am Aminata Diambo. Okay, she calls herself MAD, and that's the acronym of her name.
For some reasons, yeah.
Yeah, she's going to tell us why she calls herself that. I'm going to be talking to her about her work and about her being an engineering student and, you know, a designer. She had a lot to say on her panel, and then she got me fired up and ready to go. So thanks for coming to my channel, Aminata.
Thank you for having me here.
And I have very few questions to ask you. I'd like to know why you call yourself MAD.
Well, if you look well at my name, it's Mam Aminata Diambo. Those are just the first letters of my name.
Okay.
And some people say it's not random because I can go mad sometimes.
You can be weird.
Yeah.
I love weird.
Yeah.
So that's nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have this movement going on about freedom for women, and then freedom to choose, freedom to create, and all that. So what makes this different from what we've always had?
Well, I think this type of freedom is created by the women themselves because it's design, and design has infinite possibilities for somebody to create and just feel that freedom to express herself and actually make people show the world the way she does. I was saying yesterday that we can see the same thing, but through different lenses, the image is different. And through different focus, the image is different. And if there are photographers watching, they might understand where I'm speaking from. The lens can be fisheye or whatever it is. But we've been lacking seeing the way women have been seeing the world, just because maybe they've not been speaking up enough or putting their work out there. And that's why I think design and creativity and all that stuff is a big opportunity for women to liberate themselves.
It's freedom. Okay, that's great. Okay, so at 21, you co-own a design firm with your mom, and you define your designs as being rebellious.
Yeah.
Why is this?
Well, I would say that the way I've been, entering into fashion has been from, a very complete different perception from my mom.
Okay.
Well, my mom is a woman, almost 50. She's gone through so many things, and I think her main way of celebrating herself as a woman and other women is to magnify them through classiness, through bright colors, and that's her way of doing it. But when I look at fashion and the way I would dress back then, I'd be in pants, I'd wear, joggings and sneakers, and that was just the way I wanted to dress. Getting to, change the way I dress, I also realized that I wanted to blend being feminine and also, having that comfort whenever it comes to, wearing pants, going to work, going to school, because, anyway, it's sometimes more comfortable. And that's how I think my rebellion got through fashion, because I was like, I don't want none of these.
You don't want the norm.
Yeah, I don't want none of this norm that is labeled to me. If I want to wear a dress, I'll wear it, I'll rock it. But if I want something else, it's up to me to create it. And that's what made this jumpsuit happen, basically.
Wow, I'm going to have to show them what the
picture.
jumpsuit looks like. I think I got a capture, when you're on the panel.
I have a picture to show later. But this jumpsuit, when I got this fabric from one of my uncles that is very dear to my heart, I told my mom I wanted to make something very special of it and something very pretty. And she said, okay, what do you want? And then I said, if I could get a dress, but at the same time, I would like something, that is kind of out of the norms, and I'd like pants, actually. And she said, you cannot get both. But, also how design gives endless possibilities in the way it was sewed. When you stand in front of people, it is a dress as social norm.
Yeah.
And when you want it, it's a pant as what you designed it to be. And it's, weird, but it's blending in and standing out at the same time, and it's just what I like about creating.
It's beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
It's beautiful. Okay, I might have to make one of that.
Sure.
Okay, so we're getting on. So you're also an engineering student in university. What prompted you into tech? Why not just design and fashion and all that?
Well, I think also my journey into STEAM was kind of, different ways coming together. If I look at, well, when I was younger, I really loved finding answers. I was kind of curious and happened to be labeled as a nerd. My mom would keep my nose in my books, and then at a moment she would struggle to take me out of the books because I started loving it. But I was having dreams about being an astrophysician.
That's big.
That was big back then for me because I thought the only way to go through tech was to be a big engineer, big names, astrophysician. And then my father was even telling me, if you wish, you can even work for these big firms in America because that's where the astrophysicians work.
NASA's and all that.
Yes, and that was, some young girl's dream. But growing up, I met this organization called Gigantech Hub and Imagination Africa, and they held the girls in ICT days. And we had coding sessions for 3 days. And I remember I was so excited because, it was putting myself in the skin of those programmers and the screen and this weird text, and then pops out a website page, and it was just amazing doing that. It's fascinating. But more than that, I think by the time I didn't realize how much of design thinking I acquired, how much of divergent thinking I acquired, how much of creativity I acquired just by coding. It's when you look back then that the dots are connected. But I'm thankful that today I had that experience because the more I was going, the more I was loving the glam inside tech.
I mean, you were saying the fact that you could actually solve problems with just coding.
Yes, and it was more about, now I just don't want these basic problems or this textbook problems to solve, but what is real and what can we code out of that and make a solution. And that's, I think, what educational systems should focus on solving. It's today you have people who can solve algorithms. They're excellent at that. Give them a problem, a concrete problem in real life, and then they're kind of lost. And that's why when we go into professional worlds, some people spend a year training the people who get out of the university. That's lack of time, lack of money, resources. And energy, and school could have done so much better at training us to be problem solvers, to be critical thinkers. All those 21st century skills that are no longer what school was made for, and we need to reimagine things.
Wow. Okay, so it's getting more interesting. Okay, so it's the International Day of the Girl Child today. And we've seen some of the girls say a lot of things about how the coding sessions has helped them be better at ICT in school. They're more confident and all that. So do you think we're getting closer to encouraging more young girls to take up STEM, courses and professions?
Well, I think so. Because in the beginning, people thought that coding was just a trend. It was just about the hype. And some people didn't understand that along with coding came some soft skills, and that we didn't even only want them to sit there and be the technical engineers that they can be, but also be managers, be leaders of themselves first, and then of other people, and be able to take responsibility for themselves. And today in this conference, I met at least in every country represented, an organization doing the same thing as Gigantech does. Teaching soft skills, business skills to women entrepreneurs, and they're just encouraging in telling us that yes, there are more things that are being done. I think the girls that came today, they gave hope to everybody in the room.
And made us feel like, we're getting somewhere.
Being 11, 12, 13 years old, speaking with confidence and being so... I saw clarity in those girls. More clarity than maybe other 13 years old girls. And that's just, what logic of coding, once again, is getting you. And I'm not saying if you don't learn coding, you don't get all these things. It's just one way to there. It can be coding, it can be robotics, it can be whatever else, or it can be writing.
Yeah, technical writing.
It can be whatever. But just giving that training and those opportunities is actually making results. And if I think of engineering classes back then, maybe you'd have 1, 2 girls. We're 10 girls over 30 students. It's still not enough because we want more. But it's getting somewhere. It's a huge step. When I was in secondary school, in my senior class, it was specialize in math and physics. The year before us, there were one girl in the classroom. But then, I don't know what happened. We were just 8 girls versus 6 boys in my promotion. That was just a flip.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what happened? And it's getting better. Actually, more girls are taking on those STEAM fields. And, well, I want to also make a statement that, well, not studying STEAM does not mean that you're not going to be an actor in this sector.
And then there was a girl who said she wanted to be a lawyer,
Yes.
but she would go on to learn this tech skill before proceeding to learn law in school. I mean, that gave me
amazing
hope.
that she didn't give up on being a
Yeah.
lawyer, and that she identifies technology as a tool rather than, you know, the final destination or the final job.
So, I mean, so there's progress,
Yes,
but there's
there
still
is.
more work to be done.
Sure.
So finally,
Especially in rural areas.
yes,
We're
I mean,
doing work, it's urban, but we need to get to them rural areas. And it's maybe not the same way we're doing it in urban areas, that it's going to happen there.
it will take more time.
Yes, and we need also to encourage, you know, community leaders to invest in those schools, give them the proper tools. As
agree.
where you put a computer science class, put a library. Make them read, make them code, make them use blogging, make them use YouTube, multimedia, everything,
I
because there are
agree.
endless possibilities.
I agree. And I'm sure that, I mean, a lot of us have been inspired by this conference to get things done, to get into the rural areas. And I'm hopeful that at the next conference, we'll get a lot of testimonies.
Well, me too.
Yeah. So finally, this is a personal question. So what are your aspirations for the next 5 years for design and for the women in tech ecosystem in general? And then it could be the women ecosystem in Senegal, where you're from. And, you know,
Well, speaking of the women ecosystem, I'm hoping that it gets stronger, because it is already getting stronger. You know? My Senegalese woman is just rocking it. I mean, just as much as in other countries, but I'm particularly proud to see them in conferences, to see them on field. You know, I feel prouder when I go to somewhere in a school randomly and there's something happening, and I know these ladies are organizing something for these students and it's happening. Or wherever you go, you see them, you know, activating themselves, the entrepreneurs, the bloggers, the advocates, the activists, all of them are doing amazing. Our mamas, our sisters, you know, sometimes it's not somebody that is up front, but it's somebody that is doing the majority of the work. I think the majority of the work for me has been done by my mom and my father. And they've been behind me, pushing me. And even today, my father is like, okay, maybe I don't understand the STEAM things that you're doing 100%. You got our support for everything. And I think that also, because listening to the other delegates here, a lot of them would tell that their parents have been the major contributors in them making things happen.
driving force.
Yes, and I think that also, you know, has to be pushed a bit, you know, including parents in these conversations, to letting them know how good it's doing to their children, and maybe they'll be more, you know, prompt to encouraging them. In terms of design, engineering, I'm hoping to get my degree first. That's something. And then, well, 5 years before, I did not have any idea of where I would be today. So I just have faith that I'll keep creating. I'll keep meeting incredible people just like you. I'll keep being in spaces where we're allowed to speak up and where it is set for us to concentrate and to speak together and exchange the ways we could all do better. I think by always learning from others, learning from experiences, we'll get somewhere, and I hope in 5 years I'll get somewhere.
Yeah, that's interesting. So you also have a video platform where you create stories of amazing women and the work that you do. So do you want to tell us about that?
Yeah, it's mymadnation.com.
My Mad Imagination.
mymadnation.com. Yeah, the madness is getting online.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, I want to be part of that nation.
That's great. Actually, we'll do things together later, but it's a blogging platform. For now, it's written. I use Instagram as a platform also.
Okay, so what's the IGTV handle?
It's Mad Nomad.
Mad No Man. Okay. We're getting a little mad.
Yes.
But, okay, so go on to Instagram. Search for Mad No Man. So no is
N-O.
Okay, Mad No Man.
We're probably getting written. in
Yes,
the
yes. So you see it
description box.
on the screen, on the description box also. And I'd like to thank you for
thank
coming.
you
It
so
was
much
really
for
great
having
meeting
me.
you. I'm sure that
Yeah.
we'll do great stuff together.
Yeah, and I want to add that this is example of women telling stories of other women, and it's
Okay.
empowering and it's powerful
Yes,
from
please.
you to go to other women and make them speak of themselves and share it out to the world. So thank you, and I think we need more women doing this.
Yes, and then thank you too.
Thank you.